Let's take a look at the platform real quick. If we look at the good old PowerPoint picture here, you'll notice this is the same aluminum, high-grade, military-type material that composes this truck. The cab, the bed, the fenders, etc. are all made of this high-grade aluminum. Now, what's so special about it? Well, lightweight. So we have a situation where we're going to go ahead and get more mileage out of this electric vehicle if we have a lighter vehicle. And it can handle the same weight with the high-strength military aluminum. So, hey, we can go ahead and go a little further with the aluminum body, just like a regular F-150 can go a little further. We also have a fully boxed steel frame. And the battery, of course, is mounted in between this frame for safety, reliability, and you can think of it as having a metal exostructure around that battery pack to protect the battery in case of some kind of an accident. You'll also notice that underneath the truck here, as far as the picture, you can see the added skid plates. So if you do some off-roading, or if you're in an area that has very, very limited ground clearance, you're not going to go ahead and hurt the battery pack. You've got skid plates to help you out as far as that goes. Now, it's kind of interesting here, because we have an electric F-150, but it's got a 10,000 pound towing capacity. That's pretty heavy for an F-150 type arrangement. Remember, the payload is 2,000 pounds. Well, last time I checked, 2,000 pounds just happens to be a ton. So this is a half-ton truck, and it can haul a ton around. So that's quite an achievement. And we're doing it without any pollution. We're doing it basically quietly. Kind of a neat situation. Let's go ahead and roll on. What about horsepower and such? You know, a lot of people like taking their trucks and going from stoplight to stoplight with them, if you know what I mean. There's a Chevy next to you. Hey, you want to get there first. Well, F-150 Lightning is no slouch here. The regular drive motor supplies 452 horsepower, but get this, 775 foot-pounds of torque. That's on the standard range battery. If the purchaser opts for the extended range battery, of course, the numbers go up to 580 horsepower and 775 foot-pounds of torque. So if you think about it, you know, that's quite a bit of power out of that F-150. So standard range battery packs about 98 kilowatts of energy. And of course, the extended range battery, it's at 131 kilowatts of energy. So quite a difference there. You know, obviously the extended range is going to cost a bit more, and that's obviously normal. Now, keep in mind, the more weight you put on the truck, of course, just like a gas or diesel Ford truck, you're going to have a situation where your mileage is going to go down. So luckily, the dash and such gives you an idea of where the mileage is at, where the nearest charging points are at, and we'll get a look at that in a few. So that's kind of a nice thing to know and have. And here's your dash, okay? So you can actually go ahead and power your trip, as they call it. It displays charger locations, where you can get to the closest charger and how. It does show you basically your range. Now, the nice thing about the F-150 is that the range is calculated with the towing weight, the weather, the grades that you're going to go ahead and look at from the navigation system, and of course traffic. So it encompasses all the characteristics that might change the miles per electron, as we call it, to go ahead and make sure that you're in good condition as far as the amount of electrical storage you have in your battery when you're towing a heavy weight. The truck can go ahead and weigh your load and such, so it does a pretty darn good job of calculating how much range you have on the electrical battery in this particular case. So you want to keep in mind there's also seamless connectivity on this truck. As all the newer Fords go, you have connectivity with Apple, of course, and Android also. There is an in-vehicle 12-inch screen, and it also is capable of over-the-air software updates. So if there is a concern on the truck, Ford can go ahead and very simply update the computer system software wirelessly. Now, there's a feature on the scan tool that allows you to allow that or disallow it. You want to keep in mind, anytime you power up, there's a self-check that's done on the truck, so we go ahead and analyze if there's any concerns with the electrical system and such. The vehicle range is always indicated, so we know exactly what our range is going to be, pretty close anyway. If there's any faults, we go ahead and highlight those faults. We're going to go ahead and get a look at something real quick, because let's talk about faults here. There's faults that could happen here, and the nice thing is, you know, if you're into factory scan tools, the Ford FDRS works very well on this. It's the scan tool of choice for the Ford dealer network, of course. But, you know, a lot of us in the aftermarket, of course, don't have a factory tool, or maybe you have a factory tool, but you're using it in another vehicle, and very simply, you're going to hook your scan tool up to this Ford Lightning. So we want to show you what the capacities are of some of the aftermarket scan tools in the market. Now, keep in mind this varies. Some of the scan tools do a very good job, some don't do a very good job. So, you know, it depends on what scan tool you have. You have to try it or talk to your scan tool manufacturer and see where you're at with that scan tool. We're going to use, in this particular case, a Launch X431 scan tool. That tool is Launch's premium tool, of course. It does ADOS and everything else. And we're going to see how well it works on this brand new Ford Lightning truck. So let's go ahead and power this truck up and we'll get right to it. Okay, I've got a helper in our truck, of course, and we're going to go ahead and power up the truck. That saves you watching me to go power it up, so that's a great idea, I think. I'm going to be manning the scan tool in this case, and as I man the scan tool, we're going to kind of look at the scan tool screens and show you what's going on. Now, the most important thing we're going to go ahead and look at anytime we look at a new vehicle that we haven't diagnosed before, we want to make sure that we do a module test to make sure that all the computer control modules on the networks. Now notice I said networks, so there's more than one network on this truck. So all the networks are going to go ahead and report what modules are on them, and we're going to make sure they're all here. So what we're going to do is go to the scan tool quickly, and if you notice on the scan tool shot here, we're showing all the networks that this truck could possibly have. And there is a whole host of them, as you notice. And they're all on high-speed networks, if you notice. So we have a lot of different modules. Now, you might be very good, but what's a PACM module? What's a RTM module? What's an SASM module, as you see on your screen? Well, if you don't remember all of that, we'll show you a way a scan tool can really help you out. So when you get a scan tool, you want to make sure you get a scan tool that defines all of those abbreviations. So let's go ahead at this particular point and power up the truck. So we're going to power up the truck. And when we power the truck, you're going to see the lights come on and such. We're going to do some light checks. You probably just saw the headlights move back and forth in the background. And basically, we're diagnosing those things to check them to make sure we're in good shape. So we're in good shape there. We hear a bunch of pumps that have come on. Some different controllers have come on and such. So we're ready to go. So we're powered up with our truck right now. So what we're going to do, if you follow the scan tool screen here, we're going to go to high-speed scan. Now this is going to be rather remarkable because we have high-speed networks on this particular truck, and if you've ever used an older scan tool that you have and you've done an all-module test on a truck, you notice that it took quite a bit of time. So I'd like you to check to see how much time it's going to take us, and we're going to pick a high-speed scan on these modules. So here we go, high-speed scan. I'm going to touch the high-speed can button, and I'm going to scan it, so here we go. Anything that comes up in green, of course, is a module that's good, no DTCs in it. If we have something, of course, that is in gray, that means the truck is not equipped. Now, you're probably wondering, how does a scan tool know if the truck's equipped with that or not? Well, it's real simple. If there's a module on the actual data bus, that module's got friends it talks to all the time, namely all the other modules. So what they're going to do is they're going to look for any module that has an ID or has talked to any of the other modules. If any of those other modules show that it was there at one time but it's not there right now, we're going to report that module, of course, as, in this particular case, not scanned, which means we couldn't hook up to it. So then we know we have an instant module problem. Now, by taking a look at the report here, you'll notice that we have a scenario in this particular case where everything's green. So this particular vehicle, on the modules that it is equipped with, has no DTCs in it. Otherwise, they'd show up with red, and then we'd see how many DTCs we have. Now, we'll go ahead and put some DTCs in here and show you what that looks like a little later in this presentation. So if we kind of follow along with this, let's go ahead and get a look at some information that's on here. So let's look at the scan tool in this particular case, and we're going to go ahead and pick one of the modules. Now, I don't know about you, but hey, I don't remember all the acronyms out there anymore. There's a bunch of them. So the nice thing about this is we go ahead and touch, and I'm going to touch right now on, in this particular case, let's call it a BECM. So I'm going to touch the BECM screen once, and it identifies it. It's the battery energy control module. Now, if I want to, you know, what is a GWM? I have no idea. So let me touch GWM. That's the gateway module A. So any module, and you want to make sure, if you're going to purchase a scan tool and such, you want to make sure that your scan tool IDs modules. If you don't have a module that basically is ID'd by your scan tool, that's an issue. If your module basically is not ID'd on your scan tool in any case, shape, or form, you might want to use the scan tool for something else. So these are all the modules. And once again, if there's a DTC in them, you can kind of roll it from there. Now, if you want to go ahead and let's show you some data stream real quickly here. We're going to go ahead in this case and we're going to go to the BECM. So I'm going to touch BECM. That's the battery engine energy control module, excuse me. And here we go. So it's going to load it up and here we go. Now we've got special functions. So there's a lot of special functions that are in there. We also have read data stream. I'm going to touch read data stream. Now, if you notice in this particular case, we have 280 data stream parameters on this alone. A little bit of a tip here from AVI to help you out, very simply is, if you notice up top here, it says please enter keyword, so there's a search. So I'm going to go to high, because I want to find something that's under high voltage. Okay, so there's all the high voltage. Now, I want you to notice very simply here, as far as the high lookup, there's pack current high range. So if you were looking for that PID and you didn't have a search engine, how long would it take you? In fact, would you ever even find it? Because if you notice, it starts with what? Pack. Charging high range. So very simply put, the tip from AVI here is if you purchase a new scan tool, no matter what brand it is, make sure you purchase one that has a lookup for all the data PIDs. Some of these trucks, you might see a combined data stream of 700 and some PIDs. If you see 700 and some PIDs and you're trying to scroll through to find a PID, that might be a heck of a problem. And that applies for anything newer. There's a lot more PIDs in there because, hey, the manufacturers, just like us, they want to fix the truck with the least amount of work as possible. And that means using the scan tool to fix that truck. That's the way to go, obviously. So always go ahead and if you're looking at scan tools, ensure that that scan tool has a lookup feature on the PIDs. If it does, doing well.
Introducing the Unlimited Educator Pass designed specifically for you, the Automotive Training Educator. As an ASE accredited training provider, AVI on Campus can keep your students learning online, anytime, on any device, from anywhere you choose. With over 1,000 hours of online training, you're able to assign courses covering a huge variety of automotive systems, such as electrical, engine performance, brakes, steering and suspension, diesel, hybrid and alternative fuels, ADAS technology, and more. Students can even prepare for the day they take an ASE certification test with our extensive library of ASE test prep courses. Our exclusive learning management system allows you, the educator, full control assigning the classes you choose, when you choose, and also set course completion dates. In addition, you can track student progress each step of the way and even issue certificates of completion. Perfect for blended or online learning, now is the time to take advantage of the best automotive online training available. The Unlimited Educator Pass, powered by AVI on Campus.